broken dreams and mysterious signals, the mining drill screamed against the ice, sending crystalline fragments spiraling through Titan's thin atmosphere. Maya Chen wiped sweat from her brow despite the freezing temperature outside her environmental suit. The automated mining station had been her home for 6 months now, a solitary outpost on the dark side of Saturn's largest moon where the sun never touched the methane lakes. Maya had volunteered for this assignment after her application to the Mars Colony program was rejected for the 3rd time. Too independent, they said. Doesn't work well with others. Maybe they were right, but independence had its advantages when you were the only human within 1,000,000 kilometers and your equipment decided to break down. The drill shuddered to a halt, with a mechanical groan that echoed through the stations. Metal framework? Maya cursed under her breath and pulled up the diagnostic panel on her wrist display. The readings made no sense. Power levels were normal, cooling systems functional, but the drill's molecular resonance chamber was showing energy, patterns she had never seen before. She grabbed her toolkit and headed outside through the airlock. The surface of Titan stretched endlessly in all directions, a landscape of frozen methane and nitrogen ice under a hazy orange sky. The only sounds were her own breathing and the distant hum of the station's fusion reactor. The drill assembly towered above her, a massive construct of titanium and ceramic composites designed to penetrate the moon's crust in search of rare earth elements. Maya had maintained dozens of these machines during her career, but this one was behaving unlike anything in her experience. She connected her diagnostic probe to the drill's control systems and immediately noticed the anomaly. There was an additional energy signature running parallel to the main power grid, something that shouldn't exist according to the schematics. The pattern was rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat, pulsing every 1.7 seconds with mathematical precision. Maya frowned and adjusted her probe's sensitivity. The energy signature wasn't coming from the drill itself. It was coming from somewhere beneath the ice, deep underground where no human technology had ever reached. The signal was being transmitted upward, somehow interfacing with the drills. Quantum processors. She had 2 choices: report the anomaly to Earth Command and wait weeks for instructions, or investigate it herself. Maya had never been good at waiting. She reconfigured the drill's sensors to track the energy source, ignoring the safety protocols that screamed warnings in her helmet display. The signal was approximately 2 kilometers beneath the surface, far deeper than any planned excavation. As she focused the sensors, the energy pattern suddenly intensified. The ice around the drill began to glow with a soft blue light. Maya stepped back, her heart pounding as the luminescence spread outward in perfect geometric patterns. The light wasn't random. It was forming shapes, symbols, star maps that hung in the frigid air like holographic projections. The display showed constellation patterns Maya recognized from her astronomy training, but they were arranged in configurations that predated human space travel by centuries. At the center of the projection, a familiar blue-green sphere rotated slowly, surrounded by orbital paths and navigation markers. Earth. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The signal was somehow generating a 3-dimensional map of the solar system with Earth at its center. But this wasn't just any map. It showed details that were impossible for any known alien species to possess. The locations of human colonies, space stations, even the secret military installations that were classified. Beyond her security clearance, the projection shifted, focusing on Earth itself. The planet appeared as it had looked before the Great Migration, when humanity still lived primarily on the surface before spreading across the solar system. Green continents, blue oceans, white clouds swirling in atmospheric currents. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time, a reminder of what humanity had left behind. Then the image changed. Warning symbols appeared around Earth, pulsing red indicators that suggested imminent danger. The display zoomed out to show the outer solar system, where something was approaching from the direction of Alpha Centauri. The object was massive, easily the size of a small moon, and its trajectory was aimed directly at Earth. Maya's training kicked in despite her shock. She activated her helmet's recording system and began documenting everything she saw. The holographic display responded to her movements, shifting perspective as she walked around it. When she reached toward one of the symbols, it expanded into more detailed information. The alien characters were incomprehensible, but somehow Maya understood their meaning. The approaching object was a weapon designed to strip away planetary atmospheres and render worlds uninhabitable. It had been launched from a dying star system, its creators long extinct, but their final act of desperation would destroy Earth unless someone intervened. The projection showed a countdown timer using symbols that Maya instinctively recognized as representing approximately 6 months. 6 months until the weapon reached Earth. 6 months to find a solution. But why was this information being shown to her? Maya was just a mining engineer, not a diplomat or military strategist. She had no authority to act on behalf of humanity, no resources beyond her small mining station and its modest equipment. The answer came in the form of new symbols appearing in the display. The alien intelligence behind the signal had been watching humanity's expansion across the solar system, studying their technology and behavior. They had concluded that humans possessed a unique quality, the ability to solve impossible problems through innovation and determination. The symbols showed scenes of human achievement, the first moon landing, the construction of the Mars colonies, the development of faster-than-light communication, but they also showed something else. Small groups of humans working alone, cut off from the main population, who had accomplished incredible things through individual initiative. Maya realized. She was looking at a recruitment message. The aliens weren't asking humanity as a whole to solve this problem. They were asking her specifically, because she represented the best of human ingenuity, someone who could work independently, think creatively, and never give up, even when facing impossible odds. The projection began to fade, but not before showing one final image, a modified spacecraft, built from mining equipment and salvaged components, making the journey from Titan to Earth. The ship's design was elegant in its simplicity, using technologies that Maya had access to right here on the mining station as the last of the blue light disappeared. Maya stood alone on the frozen surface of Titan, her mind racing with possibilities. The alien signal had given her a choice. She could report what she had seen and let others decide humanity's fate, or she could take action herself. She looked up at the distant point of light that was Saturn, barely visible through Titan's hazy atmosphere. Somewhere beyond it, Earth was continuing its daily rotation, unaware of the approaching danger. Billions of people living their lives, pursuing their dreams, raising their families, all of them trusting that someone would protect them from threats they couldn't imagine. Maya had always been told she was too independent, too stubborn, too unwilling to follow orders. But maybe those weren't flaws. Maybe they were exactly the qualities humanity needed right now. She turned back toward the mining station, her decision made. The aliens had chosen her not despite her independence, but because of it. They understood that sometimes the most important problems couldn't be solved by committees or governments. Sometimes they required someone willing to act alone, to take risks that others wouldn't take, to believe that one person could make a difference. The mining equipment would need to be completely reconfigured, the station's fusion reactor converted into a propulsion system, and the communication array modified to maintain contact with Earth during the journey. It was impossible, dangerous, and completely against regulations. Maya smiled as she cycled through the airlock back into the station. Impossible had never stopped her before. She began pulling up the technical specifications for her equipment, her mind already working through the modifications that would be needed. The alien signal had given her the basic design, but the engineering would be entirely human. She would need to solve problems that no one had ever faced before, innovate solutions that existed only in her imagination. The work would take weeks, maybe months. She would be completely alone, with no support from Earth and no guarantee of success. If she failed, no one would even know what she had attempted. But if she succeeded, she might just save humanity from extinction. Maya Chen had always dreamed of being part of something bigger than herself. Now she realized that sometimes the biggest things started with the smallest actions. One person, one decision, one impossible dream transformed into reality through human determination and ingenuity. The signal from beyond had found the right person after all. Asterisk. Racing against time to save Earth. 3 weeks later, Maya stood in what used to be the mining station's main processing facility, now transformed into a spacecraft manufacturing center. The space was filled with partially assembled components, welding equipment, and diagnostic computers displaying complex engineering calculations. She hadn't slept more than 4 hours in the past 72 hours, but adrenaline and determination kept her moving. The spacecraft taking shape around her was unlike anything in human-designed databases. The alien signal had provided the basic framework, but every detail had to be engineered from scratch using available materials. The fusion reactor from the mining station served as the primary power source, while the drill assembly had been converted into a revolutionary propulsion system that could manipulate space-time itself. Maya wiped oil from her hands and reviewed the status displays. The ship's hull was complete, constructed from interlocking panels of titanium alloy and ceramic composites. The life support systems were functional, though she had simplified them to support only one occupant. The navigation computer was online, loaded with the alien coordinates and a flight path that would take her on a direct course to Earth. She had named the ship Breakthrough, because that's what it represented: humanity's breakthrough into technologies that would have taken decades to develop through normal research. The alien signal had accelerated human evolution by providing the theoretical foundation, but the practical implementation was entirely Maya's achievement. The communication system crackled to life, and Maya heard her own voice echoing through the station's speakers. It was a recording she had made 2 weeks ago, a message intended for Earth Command that she had never sent. In it, she explained her discovery and her plans, providing detailed technical specifications and theoretical justifications for her actions. Maya had decided not to transmit the message until she was already en route to Earth. By then, it would be too late for anyone to stop her, but early enough for Earth's defenses to prepare for what was coming. She had learned from the alien signal that sometimes the most important communications were not requests for permission, but notifications of actions already taken. The ship's AI system, which Maya had programmed using enhanced algorithms provided by the alien signal, announced that all systems were ready for departure. The AI's voice was calm and professional, but Maya detected subtle inflections that suggested it was more than just a computer program. The alien technology had somehow created a form of artificial consciousness that could adapt and learn in ways that human AI could not. Maya performed her final equipment check, securing loose tools and ensuring that all emergency systems were functional. She had built redundancies into every critical system, knowing that there would be no rescue mission if something went wrong. The journey to Earth would take approximately 4 days using the alien propulsion technology, but she carried supplies for 2 weeks in case of unexpected delays. As she prepared to leave Titan's surface, Maya received an incoming transmission that made her freeze. The signal was coming from deep space, far beyond the solar system, and it was using the same energy patterns she had detected in the mining drill. The alien intelligence was trying to communicate with her directly. Maya activated the ship's communication array and found herself facing a holographic projection unlike anything in human experience. The being before her was tall and graceful, with features that seemed to shift between different configurations as if it existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Its voice resonated with harmonics that suggested vast intelligence and ancient wisdom. "Greetings, Maya Chen of Earth," the being said, its words somehow translating directly into her mind. "I am Keeper Zara of the Vigil Fleet. We have been watching your progress with great interest." Maya found her voice despite her shock. "You're the ones who sent the signal. You're the ones who showed me the approaching weapon, correct?" "We are. The last remnants of a civilization that once spanned this galaxy. When our star died, we chose to become guardians rather than conquerors. We have protected developing worlds for millennia, but we cannot act directly. The weapon approaching your Earth was created by our ancient enemies, the Devourers, who sought to destroy all life before their own extinction. Why can't you stop it yourselves?" Maya asked, her engineer's mind immediately focusing on practical solutions. "The weapon is programmed to respond only to the life signatures of its creators. We are too different from the Devourers to deactivate it. But humans, Humans share enough genetic markers with the Devourers to potentially interface with their technology. You are the key, Maya Chen. Your species is the key." Maya felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. "What do I need to do?" "Your ship is equipped with quantum field generators based on our technology. When you reach Earth, you must convince your people to evacuate the planet's surface. The weapon will arrive in 72 hours, and its first action will be to ionize the atmosphere. But if you can reach the weapon and interface with its control systems, you might be able to redirect it away from Earth." "Might?" Maya asked. "The process is dangerous and untested. The weapon's defenses will recognize you as a threat and attempt to destroy your ship. But humans have something that even we lack, the ability to succeed when success should be impossible. You call it stubbornness. We call it the spark of transcendence." Maya smiled despite the gravity of the situation. "Stubbornness is definitely something I can work with." The holographic projection began to fade, but Keeper Zara's voice remained clear. "Know this, Maya Chen. If you succeed, humanity will have proven itself worthy of joining the galactic community. If you fail, we will ensure that your courage is remembered throughout the galaxy. Either way, you honor your species." The transmission ended, leaving Maya alone with her thoughts and the massive responsibility she had accepted. She initiated the ship's launch sequence, feeling the familiar vibration of the fusion reactor building to full power. The alien propulsion system engaged with a sound like singing crystal, and the breakthrough lifted off from Titan's surface with grace that defied its improvised construction. As the ship accelerated toward Earth, Maya reviewed the tactical situation. The approaching weapon was roughly the size of a small moon and equipped with technology that could sterilize entire planets. Earth's defenses, impressive by human standards, would be useless against such a threat. The only hope was for Maya to somehow interface with the weapon's control systems and redirect it away from Earth. The journey passed quickly, with Maya making constant adjustments to the ship's systems and preparing for the confrontation ahead. She had modified the ship's quantum field generators to produce the specific energy signatures that the alien weapon would recognize, essentially disguising the breakthrough as a devourer vessel. When Earth appeared on the ship's sensors, Maya felt a mixture of emotions that threatened to overwhelm her. The blue-green world looked so small and fragile against the backdrop of space, yet it contained everything that humanity had ever known or loved. The orbital installations and defense platforms looked like toys compared to the massive weapon that was approaching from the outer system. Maya transmitted her recorded message to Earth Command, along with all the technical data she had gathered about the alien weapon. The response was immediate and predictable: disbelief, demands for verification, and orders to return to the nearest space station for debriefing. Maya ignored them all and continued toward the weapon's projected intercept point. The weapon appeared on her sensors as a dark, irregular shape that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. As the breakthrough approached, Maya could see the massive structures built into the weapon's surface: energy collectors, atmospheric processors, and launch bays for smaller vessels. The entire construct radiated malevolent purpose, a machine designed for nothing but destruction. Maya activated the ship's quantum field generators and felt the familiar tingling sensation as the technology interfaced with her nervous system. The alien enhancements allowed her to perceive the weapon's control systems directly, seeing the flowing patterns of energy that regulated its functions. She could sense the weapon's artificial intelligence, ancient and implacable, counting down the moments until it would begin its work. The weapon's defenses activated as the breakthrough approached, launching interceptor drones that moved with impossible speed and precision. Maya's human reflexes, enhanced by the alien technology, allowed her to evade the first wave of attacks, but she knew she couldn't avoid them indefinitely. She had to reach the weapon's control center before her ship was destroyed. She found the access port exactly where the alien signal had indicated, a structure that resembled a massive iris surrounded by defensive systems. Maya fired the ship's makeshift weapons, devices she had constructed from mining equipment and alien technology, clearing a path through the defensive perimeter. The breakthrough penetrated the weapon's outer hull and found itself in a vast chamber filled with alien machinery. Maya could feel the weapon's artificial intelligence focusing its attention on her ship, analyzing her intentions and preparing countermeasures. She had only moments before the weapon's immune systems would identify her as a threat and destroy her. Maya activated the ship's quantum interface and felt her consciousness expand to encompass the weapon's control systems. She could sense the programming that drove the weapon's mission, the relentless logic that would guide it to Earth's destruction. But she could also sense something else, a hidden subroutine, a backdoor left by the weapon's creators that would allow it to be deactivated. The process was agonizing, requiring Maya to match her human consciousness against artificial intelligence that had existed for millennia. But she had advantages that the weapon's creators had never anticipated: creativity, intuition, and the stubborn refusal to accept defeat that characterized humanity at its best. She found the deactivation sequence buried deep within the weapon's programming, protected by logical puzzles that required not just intelligence but imagination to solve. Maya's engineering background served her well, allowing her to understand the weapon systems well enough to navigate its defensive protocols. With seconds remaining before the weapon reached Earth's atmosphere, Maya activated the deactivation sequence. The ancient machine shuddered and went dark, its malevolent intelligence finally silenced after eons of dormancy. The weapon's trajectory began to change, carrying it away from Earth and toward the outer solar system, where it would eventually be captured by the sun's gravity. Maya's ship emerged from the weapon's hull as Earth's defense forces surrounded the disabled threat. The communication channels were filled with amazed voices as humanity's representatives tried to understand what had just happened. Maya smiled as she set course for Earth, knowing that she had accomplished something that would change humanity's place in the universe forever. The alien signal had chosen correctly. Humanity was ready to join the galactic community, not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in the great work of protecting life throughout the universe. And it had all started with one stubborn engineer who refused to accept that some problems were too big to solve. Maya Chen had saved her species, and in doing so, had proven that the greatest strength of humanity was not its technology or its numbers, but its refusal to give up when the stakes were highest. The future belonged to those who dared to dream the impossible and then made it real. Asterisk.